because they don't like to see too many coins here. So I would recommend usually add one social. Dev holding, if it's like more than 15% or something, the coin just doesn't make sense anyway. Holders, it has to have at least 100 if it's a coin that you're thinking could potentially migrate. We're talking about the middle column now, so things that could potentially migrate. Insider wallets, you don't want to be messing about with anything around 25% or more. Bot users, again, out of that 100, like you need at least 25 or something like that being genuine regular buyers. And we can do other things as well. So for example, market cap, anything under 6,500 is probably rugged already anyway, and volume we can put like 10,000 there as well. So something like that. And in terms of token age, like I said, maximum, I don't want to be messing with anything that's more than 45 minutes long and it's not bonded already because it's not really trending. You could increase this a bit to 60 minutes or 90 minutes, but in my opinion, for a real momentum coin, it should really get there faster. So I'm going to click apply here, and you can see when you're doing extra filtering, you get to only 1 or 2 coins. Now, obviously, we can extend the time frame as well, so you can take this out to, let's say, 70. But it just shows you how few genuine coins there are when you really filter the important stuff. And here you can see in terms of number of bot users, very realistic. Volume looks quite high as well. Holders high. Insiders very low. Devs already sold. So potentially, if it's a decent enough meme, it could be a CTO type meme where a community could potentially carry it. This is the type of stuff you need to be looking at. Now, if you're brand new and you just want to avoid all of the scams and over filter a little bit, I would advise you using these types of filters. So you can see dev bought and dev sold, but remember, just to be on the safe side, you can check dev tokens here and confirm that they're holding nothing now. And by the way, you can see other coins as well that the devs previously launched as well. So you can have a look at that too. Now in this, if you're buying, so you've got buy settings here, very, very easy. You just type in here, for example, let's say I was buying 1 Solana. I could just click buy and it's done. So we've just bought 1 Solana of this particular coin. Now, if I want to set up a stop loss, so let's say I'm looking at this chart and I'm like, remember, this is very early days. So when the coins are pre kind of migration and stuff like that, remember, I've not even looked at socials or anything. We're just using this as an example. They tend to range, the ones that don't immediately get to bonding, because you're getting a lot of people taking profits before here. So usually you're better off kind of buying the range lows if you think it has legs and could reach kind of migration. We'll see how this one goes. But if I wanted to set up a stop here, it's very easy. So if I wanted to say, look, around 27K or something like that. So about, 30-40% down. I don't want to be involved in that. If price drops there, I click on limit here, click on sell, then limit. And then what I can do here, I've got the sell bar. So I can literally move the actual sell bar rather than type in the market cap if I want to. So moving the sell bar down just below that swing kind of low here. So I've set it there at minus 39%. So it's already set the market cap for me. So it's a little bit easier rather than having to read it off the chart. That's the other thing I like about BullX. The chart is very detailed in terms of numbers. If you look on Photon here, you can't even see the numbers properly on this right hand side of the chart. So especially for lower market caps, it made it very, very tricky to trade accurately. Now here, if I want to sell 100%, I click 100% and I click on the sell button and that order is placed. So I made my buy there and I've got the sell below this swing low here. So everything's set up. So if the price does drop and it doesn't work out with this particular coin, no problem. Not the end of the world. I'll move on to another coin. Now with this particular one, I can see here how much I'm invested, which is basically 1 Solana, which at the moment, the value is about $180, something like that. And you've got all of the other info here, which I've shown you before. Top 10, insider holding, dev holding, stuff like that. So all of that's there. So basically my strategy here, I mean, again, you'd want to buy kind of range lows, is see if it gets to migration and then sell immediately after. Especially on the initial pump after migration. Now, if it doesn't work out from here and price just keeps dropping off, even though the coin's getting very low volume, you could just move on. That's what I would do. Just sell, break even, small profit, small loss, just move on to the next coin. This is how to trade the kind of about to graduate area. This is how I would approach it. Now, there's no point talking about take profits here because there's nothing, like we need to get migrated on this particular coin if it's going to really run. But if you were doing that, you can also set up the same limit orders for take profit targets and you can add them here too. If you scroll down here and you click on this little icon here, you can see what your buys, sell settings, stuff like that is here. And for the buy settings, you can see already MEV protection is enabled for buying and selling. I would recommend keeping that on. The kind of typical settings are anywhere from 10% to 30% buy slippage, priority fee 0.01, and bribery 0.01. You can make them lower as well, so you can test that. So if you're on a very, very low budget and you only want to buy for like $30-40 or $25 and sell for the same amounts, then you can test these at lower. You can go 0.05 and just see if your transactions are going through. Now, day by day, it kind of changes. It depends on how many other people you're competing to make that buy, purchase, or sell kind of decision. So it depends how many people you're competing with when it comes to buying and selling. But let me just give you a little brief overview of how it works with the kind of fees here, so it makes more sense. So let's say you're buying for $50 into this new coin. So what you'll be doing is you're going to pay a few things. You're going to pay the tool that you're using a certain percentage. So that could be, for example, with BullX, if you use my link, it will be a lower rate of 0.9% typically. So 0.9%. Then you're going to be paying usually a very small charge to pump fund. It can be around 2%, something like that, especially pre kind of migration. And then you've got the priority fee, which you can see here, this priority fee. So how much your kind of transaction is prioritized compared to other people. So you've got that there too. So those are the basic ones. And then what happens